Well, actually, that summer I probably grew about 8 inches over the summer. So that was my motivation. I had outgrown all my clothes. It's like, man, I'm getting taller, so I'll try out again. And I did. And because I was now head and shoulders above most of the girls at that point, I got noticed from the coaches just because of my height. And the skills kind of came more easily for me. I wasn't as awkward as a seventh grader going into eighth grade. So that was my motivation, basically, was that I just had this huge growth spurt. Primarily played defense. Throughout my high school, my job was to be a rebounder, dribble the ball to half court, and then toss it across half court to the forwards and stand there and watch the action until it got ready to come back across half court again. It's pretty amazing now that I think about that style of play. Mm. Well, me and 4 other teammates did a visit here to College Station, and I just like the whole atmosphere. The whole camaraderie thing was very inspiring to me, and all 4 of us actually decided to make that move to come and build a program. We were used to winning. We felt like if we all stuck together, we could come and bring some success to the program, and that's what we did. Left-handed, and at 5'10", actually, I played the forward post position because I had, I would say, great leaping ability, so that allowed me to play the inside game as well. My game was basically a turnaround jumper from the left-hand side of the court. That was my specialty. But rebounding, put back, that as well. My first year here at A&M, we were considered a running team, so we were quick, we were fast, so we did a lot of pressing and fast breaking. Wow, yeah. That was a new experience for me because it was the whole crowd getting into the game thing and very loud and having to go to half court just to be able to hear the coaches at timeout. So yeah, that was definitely a great experience and a new one. I had no idea at the time that we came that we were the first African Americans to play here. When we came in, there were other African Americans in other sports, so we just assumed that we were coming in to join the program. It wasn't until years later when I got an invitation, I believe it was the African American Student Union, to come and get recognized, that I realized that I was the first African American to actually have come and played here at Texas A&M. So it wasn't a thing that I knew right away when we came in. It is something, especially when I come to games and I see the impact that our African American students are having or have had on the game, that it gives me a sense of pride that I was able to kind of set the tone, pave the way for them to feel like this was a good place for African American students to come as well. So yeah, there's definitely a sense of pride that I felt like I kind of paved the way a little bit for the African American ball players to feel like they could be successful here and thrive. And I tried to reflect on that in terms of, was it a negative experience for me? But it wasn't. It was, during that time period, we pretty much stuck together, all the African American athletes, whether it was basketball, football, volleyball, track. We pretty much had a camaraderie among ourselves, but there wasn't a lot of negativity that we experienced from our white athletes, or even within the university itself. So that's something I've shared over the years, that I didn't experience the type of racism that I have heard that went on in the 70s at other campuses. So that was a positive for us. Oh yes, I've definitely noticed that A&M is a big choice for your African American athletes, and I think it's because of the environment that they feel that they can thrive in and be accepted in. So yeah, it has definitely been a positive to see the number of African Americans that are on the rosters these days. It was an opportunity. Again, it was one of those firsts for me. The league was just getting started. It was third year in when I came into the WBL. So again, the opportunity to experience what it was like to play professional basketball. And it was worth putting my student teaching on hold in order to go and experience that. And it was quite, that was an experience where there was, you know, having to try to figure out where you're going to stay, not getting paid, all of that whole newness of a league getting started. But again, a sense of pride that we paved the way for what is now the WNBA with the things that we went through in the WBL. No, not at all. We were just getting to that point where Title IX was coming into play and women were actually just getting scholarships to play at the collegiate level. So in that short period of time to see the creation of a women's professional basketball league, it was just very encouraging as a basketball player to see the opportunity to finish your collegiate career and have some place else to go and play in a sport that you loved. It meant a lot because a lot of women's basketball players today don't, you ask them about the WBL and they're not even aware that there was a WBL. They're only familiar with the WNBA. So to be able to be recognized and have the opportunity to educate the younger players about the history of professional basketball and of women's basketball and where it started, that's been an honor. And to be recognized into the Hall of Fame as the trailblazers of the game. It took a long time for that to come into play. So it was an honor for all of us. I think once we all gathered when we were being inducted into the Hall of Fame in Knoxville, we, especially the African American ladies, kind of gathered and talked about their impact that they had at their respective universities. So reflecting back and knowing by then that I had been the first African American at A&M at a predominantly white school and the impact that had on me and my career, it kind of allowed me to say, hey, this was my contribution. This was something that I was allowed to do and set the stage for other Black athletes to come the way and feel comfortable that this is a place that they can thrive in. So I think during the Hall of Fame was that time period when I really reflected back on my whole career being the first African American. Oh yeah. Now, when we played at the Holler House, we had a good crowd, even back then where women's basketball wasn't as popular, but having come back on campus over the years and my last time for Coach Blair's last retirement game, just to see the number of fans that still support women's basketball, and the facilities are awesome in terms of the progress that has been made. So I see the gap narrowing between the women's sports and the men's sports overall, but particularly here at A&M. Definitely to take advantage that all of being an athlete has to offer, and there are numerous opportunities that are available to them. Network, make the connections that become lifelong connections that can carry over from being a college athlete to getting into the work world and getting out there and making your name known. So I think the biggest thing that I would see with college athletes today is they have way more opportunities for athletics to carry over to their work when they get into the work world, and to take advantage of that.